Hey, Robot Arena fans, Jim here. I just wanted to show you some of the things I had been working on. Some robots for Banter Wars, but we don't know how far that's going to go. Seems like they're overwhelmed with input over there, so we'll see. That may happen someday. At any rate, what we're going to do here is show you what I've been working on. These are some of the bots that I would have liked to have entered. What we're going to do before that, though, is we're going to go all the way back to the beginning of the game here. Hey, take a fast look. Just to show you how some of these things were put together here. And we'll take a look at, say, bot joy. Alright, go to components, and here we have bot joy. So it has 3D spike strips, and they're mounted on base plate anchors. Has 4-wheel drive, slipper bottom wheels. It has, I do believe, 2 super volt, well, maybe only 1 super volt battery. Yep, 1 super volt battery, some counterweights in the back, ballast, and 4 of these reverse angle motors, a couple of mini wheels. Now let's take a look at the chassis. See, also has a control board, of course. And here's how it looks. Pretty cool looking bot, I like it. And the armor, which we don't erase its paint job. That's easy to do. It's made of titanium. Okay, so this is what a house bot looks like. This is what came with the game. And now we're going to look at a couple of the bots that I was putting together for Banter Wars. Let's get out of here. And we'll go to select a new team. Ooh, here we go, wrong one. And we'll take a look at the first selection of things here. This was actually the bot that I had planned on submitting, but apparently the weapons pack is too overpowered, too many razors. So we could always do something about that in the future. We'll take a fast look at this guy here. This is an invertible bot. Run upside down. I put these plates on here, one on top and one on the bottom, for hammers and axes and things like that to try to absorb some damage, so it doesn't get knocked out. So let's take a look at the component pack here. This guy runs with a bunch of small batteries, you can see, and it uses a base plate anchor and an angle connector to attach the bottom plate, and the top plate's mounted on just a straight, hang on for a second, wrong one here, base plate anchor mounted onto a ram plate. And then we have, oh, there's my wife in the background, and we have a couple of super volt batteries here. Anyway, man, there she goes. Totally disrupted now. Input from my girl. Let me see if I can get back to where I was going here. Okay, we have 4 slim wheels, like I said, 2 super volt batteries, and a small battery pack on 3 of these little guys here. On the side to help self-right, and this is a real trick here. If you look at the back of the robot, you can see the wheels run over the back of the actual chassis here. That's so if it gets tipped up on its rear, it'll always self-right that way. If it gets put on its side, the razor tips act as kind of a weapon for ramming in the sides, and also if it's laid on the side this way, it'll help it to self-right. So the machine will always end up back on its feet, no matter what. Let's take a look at the weapons pack real fast. Servo motors, and there's a disc, and we use these guys here, the Y connectors, to overlap the razors. You can see they kind of go through each other there. It's a pretty formidable machine, and it'll grind the living heck out of anything. So we're going to go on to the next case here. Back to XQ, and you'll take a look over here. This is a similar bot, totally different design. I was just trying to see, here I found you had to make kind of a large chassis so you could fit in the proper battery pack, otherwise the bot would simply run out of juice too quick. So we'll take a look at this guy. Oh, I forgot to look at the chassis too. I'll do that real quick. This guy runs on 3 big super volts. It has offset motors. It's kind of a wacky looking design. Excuse me. And it has the same type of a weapons pack as Killer does, and we put a ram plate in the front and a ram plate on top for to absorb damage and for attacks that would maybe wreck the chassis. So it's pretty similar to the original Killer bot, except it has 2 of these Z-Tech motors in the rear and 2 regular Z-Tech motors up front. These are HP jobs, high performance or high power, what have you. So this is really a basic bot. Let's look at the chassis armor. This is steel armor here, and we'll go back to Killer real quick. And this one's also steel. Okay, back to HQ. This is the bot that I was actually working on here. to submit, because these guys right here I thought were too overpowered, or they may have to have their weapons changed. So this was the first version. This was simply a ram bot. I wanted to make something that was just simply somewhat strong. The weapons pack is minimal, but it can take a lot of damage. It's made of steel, I do believe. Chassis, armor, steel. Okay. This is also 4-wheel drive, and it's invertible. That's the nice thing about this bot right here, is no matter what, it'll always land on its feet. And you can see the battery pack: 2 large super volts, 3 small batteries, and base plates, Y connectors, and what have you. It also has Fat Boy wheels, and the other ones are the same. We put these ram plates on the side here to A, protect the wheel somewhat, and B, to help it to self-right. If it lands on that thing, there's so much weight that it'll never stay there. It'll always flop back over and land back on its feet. And the same thing with the one spike here at the end, so it doesn't end up facing straight up in the air like this and sit there and be timed out. So the spike will help it to self-right. And we'll take a couple look. We'll take a look at a couple more bots here, real quick. This was Coal Miner. This one actually comes with the game. And what I did is I needed to check out the wiring. You have to make sure the wiring and all that stuff is correct, so if you automate a bot, it will work. Otherwise, automation was a big bugaboo. They would usually just sit there and stare at me, and the other bot would come in and tear me apart because I didn't know what I was doing. So getting the wiring right was a real trick. And you also have to go into the AI and monkey around there too. I think I put out a couple of vids on that. That's not part of this video anyway. So we'll go back to overview. Hang on. Take a fast look at this guy here. Components. It uses a lot of small batteries. Uses 4 Z-Techs. Uses N12 wheels, and has a nice solid weapons pack up front. Disc and a reversible angle motor and 2 iron spikes. Like I said, that's what we had to do, was copy the wiring, and we'll take a look at the chassis real quick. Armor on this guy, it's aluminum. So, all right. And let's go back to HQ and select different team. The last guys we're working on here. This one right here was kind of cute. Similar to that one that I just seen from one of the Game Tech mod guys who's put in there. There's another problem too. I don't want to create trouble with those guys, because we had a great falling out a while back, and I don't know if HEPA Games wants to mix us together, because I don't know if it would even mean anything. They may not even remember me, which would be cool. Anyway, this is similar to one of their bots. It's invertible, kind of a wacky looking machine, but it's quite well protected, and it has a decent weapon pack, a couple of spikes up front. Let's go to components here, and you can see the spike strips, 2 K9 Q blades, reversible angle motors, and I had to build it a little strange, so you can have this the armor pack here on the bottom, so if it gets tipped over, like I said, it's invertible, to keep the armor plate from rubbing on the ground there and slowing it down. It's kind of a wacky design, but it works pretty good. If you'd like to see it in combat, let me know, and I'll post a battle with it. I'll automate it. At any rate, on the back here, it has another K9 blade, another reverse angle motor, and 12 wheel and slim wheel. And I think what we'll do here is we'll take a fast look at this one right here. I reworked Killer just a bit with a different weapons pack. Nowhere near as effective as the spikes, but not bad. Basically the same bot, just a different weapons pack. It's also invertible. Can take a few good hits here on the top and bottom. A fun bot. So what we'll do here is I think we'll have a battle with say Killer and two emergency machines here in a moment, and you can see how that would work. Well, here's one for you that was kind of cute. I don't know how effective this guy would be. It's also invertible, but it's an odd design, something I just kind of tossed together. Take a look at the components. It's air cylinder is large and a small one, CO2 tanks, Z-Tech motors, battery pack, and a small spike at the rear to help self-right in case it ends up on this very flat chassis. And has 2 of these snapper burst motors here to pro peppers. Kind of an interesting machine. Okay, and was there anything else we wanted to look at here? Oh yeah, we already looked at that, and this was the actual one that I thought I might send in. I'm not sure though. It's also it'll self-ride, and it won't end up on this rear base plate because the wheels do overlap just slightly. So it'll, as they turn, it'll self-ride. It'll always land on its feet. Oh, I'm getting tongue-tied. And you can set it as a basic weapons pack here. Just a couple of spikes on the motor, components, battery packs. It's real simple. One reverse angle motor to drive the weapons, and base plates, and take a look at the chassis. Armor is steel. Okay, we'll be back in just a moment, and we'll have a little old battle here and see how killer works. Let's go back to killer here just for a second. Ooh, hey, look at that. Nothing. Haha. Robot inventory, wrong one. Here we go. And we'll have a little battle with this guy. See you in just a moment. Well, here we are. Looks like emergency has killer pinned for a second. One of them, anyway. Uh-oh. It's a pretty tough machine. One of the flippers has come off already. Killer's working on the wheels. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that one lost both of his flippers already. Heap of Games may be right about these, not maybe, is right about the spikes. They're very, very, very powerful weapons. And when you use them in conjunction like this, where they're overlapping, they don't break so easy. And they just cause nothing but horrible trouble. Now, both the emergencies have lost both their flippers. This one's losing some of his ram plates. Looks like both of them, well, they're suffering just a bit of structural damage. Looks like Killer's still in pretty good shape. Oh, all the ram plates are gone from the one machine. Okay, looks like there's pieces and parts all over the place. I think a wheel just came off. Yep, I see a wheel laying on the deck over there. Oh my. Another wheel. Both machines are, or minus a wheel. That's very bad. Look at that. Oh my. Well, that emergency machine is down to one wheel. This one's down to one wheel. Both of them are pretty much wheelless. They can't maneuver. This one's starting to smoke heavily. And his armor pack is almost gone. All I can do is spin around and take hits. Looks like Killer is trying to avoid the spikes there. Now he's going after the other machine. Oh, this one's starting to smoke heavily too. And he's starting to spark badly, and he's destroyed. Oh, a complete reverse into the other machine. That was pretty weird. Oh, they're both destroyed. Well, there you are. Okay, what we have here is Killer score is 18,479. And both the emergency machines are limited to under 3,000 points. Well, there we are. Okay, I can show you a little bit more, and we can have some more exhibition matches if you like. Not quite sure if anybody's even watching this stuff from my end over here. We get very few comments and likes and views and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to continue to do this, even though my spirit's practically crushed. But no matter. We'll see you guys soon. You have a fine day and a good week, too. You take it easy out there. And oh, by the way, if there are any matches you'd like to see both here or at Robot Arena 2014, or let's see what else do we have. We have Ultimate Stock and a few other versions. Let me know and I'll gladly post a battle. See you soon.